So this presentation is about sustainability in international business, and me, Felix, and Shruti gonna present it. So to start, who are we? I'm Denis. I'm from Brazil. I'm a business student, administration, and for now I work as a researcher. Felix?
So I am Felix, I am from Peru. I study marketing and management, and I am a business consultant of small companies here in Peru of the retail sectors and startups also. So Shruti?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I'm Shruti and I'm from India. I just finished my MBA in HR and I just joined one company as an HR trainee right now. So I'm in a job also. So that's my short introduction. So we'll start our presentation.
Okay. So we are going to talk about sustainability, and for a start, we would like to introduce why it's important to talk about it. First of all, the world, it has a lot of non-renewable resources. So being sustainable is a way to keep a long life and long-term industries and people and so on. And once the resources are non-renewable, we need to take care of them to make things there more time. Also, there is an important competitive advantage that companies can get through it, and consumers are worried about it. So when you give them sustainable products, you actually get their attention and can sell more. And finally, there are three dimensions for sustainability. One is economy, so make the economy renewable and last long. Environment, the same as economy, make it last longer, make things more more or less longer, and in a way that we can still use those things in 100 or 1,000 years. Otherwise, in some years, we will not have anything less to use. And finally, society. That means the poverty, the situation of people, their quality of life. John, what do you think sustainability is a relevant subject?
Yes.
So what are your opinions about it? Do you think it's a relevant subject? Why?
I felt that when we talk about sustainability, I will think about 3P, which is planet, people, and also plant. So I felt that it is it's a very important topic, especially in today's world, as we cannot be separated from this planet. This is what about my opinion.
Okay, thank you. It's good to know. So we are on the same page. Okay. So in this webinar, we're going to talk about the UN Sustainable Development Goals. That is UN goals for the future to have a sustainable world, and green marketing and how companies could use it to get sustainable, circular economy, the global 100 industries, an article, the fortune at the bottom of pyramid, and a case of Embraer, a Brazilian company that used sustainability when internationalizing. So, Shruti?
Yeah, so I will start with the Sustainable Development Goals. It was established in 2015 that UN came up with 17 goals to transform our world. So basically, it includes different goals. So these are poverty, hunger. It's all about poverty, hunger, water, preservation of water, environment. So I will first explain you how it will come in as a sustainable goals. So earlier there were the same thing which was there in UN, that is Millennium Development Goals, but it was ended in 2015, and then comes SDGs. So how it is different from Millennium Development Goals? So if I talk about MDGs, so these were basically they used to distinguish between the developing and developed nations, and and they have different goals for these countries. But if I talk about SDGs, these are basically same goals for each and every country who are there in the planet, and they really want to eradicate poverty. And this is basically for 15 years time period. They in 2030 they really want to come up with more inclusive society, as well as to eradicate the problems which are faced by many countries right now. I will also want to explain one more point, that I think that sustainable development goals has come very late in our world, because and it has actually created a social disparity among different countries. For example, if I talk about uh, some developing countries which are there right now, they are still struggling for some basic needs like poverty, like water, uh, even about a basic food. But if I talk about more developed countries, they are more and far ahead of developing countries. So these sustainable development goals are basically to include every people in our world, and even to save our planet. So uh, so these development goals, I think, are one of the steps which is actually, which if it has been implemented very well, it can result into a uh, good system and good society. But there are also many challenges which are there in this SDGs. For example, so as I've told you that these SDGs goals are equal for every country, and but there are some challenges, like they don't have any legalized system for so they can't track, or they can't legally implicate any country for this. So there are uh, some countries which might uh, not take these SDGs in a serious note. So this is one of the challenge which SDGs are actually facing right now. And another challenge which I think is weak institutional arrangement. So why? Because it is more of a bottom up approach rather than a top down approach. So here only with the help of governments, uh, with the help of governments of different countries, these the goals can be achieved. But if governments are not coming together, so and if they are not cooperating with UN, so how it will going to do that? So that's another challenge which I think is there. Another, I think, it's I mean, so it is basically more towards the government. So if they really want to implement this thing, they will do that. If they really don't want to, they will not do that. So I think these are the 2-3 points which I think are most important while I talk about the challenge of these SDGs. Next, uh, so the next slide
Okay.
is about marketing strategy. So Felix will explain that.
Yes, I'm talking about the green marketing mix, that is just marketing strategies. So I want to start with traditional marketing, how that was developed. So in the past, companies and governments, they just think about solving consumers' needs without worrying about the environment. No, just beat the competition, for example, no matter what. So then another trend or another behavior was that they see the ecological trend just as a fashion, not just a fashion, rather than as a consumer awareness. That's why, because we have an example of Coca-Cola, for example. They sent to the market the Coca-Cola Life, and obviously at the end this product failed because is people see like this is a product just to clean their image, for example, no, just to try to link a company to this trend, these ecological trends. So people don't want to see companies just like I don't know, painting their image with green. No, they need or they yes they want to see companies that are responsible. So then another characteristic is that it doesn't take into account the stakeholders. Just I said in the first line. So that could imply even, for example, if we are talking about our suppliers, for example, it could imply child labor, toxic products, or maybe products that generate a lot of waste. No, that was in the past. Obviously, there are some companies now that have this behavior, this action, but I think most of them are changing. So the next slide, please. So what's now? Um, from, I think, between the 70s and 80s, this concept was created, the green marketing. So it's kind of a holistic marketing that maximize the exploration of value. No, this is this means that companies see or are involved with a client and with the environment and with own resources also. No, just it's the same picture that sustainability because it's based on that. But in this concept, we have a big challenge. No, one of that big challenge is the greenwashing. For example, by these days, I think the main action that companies want to do is to solve the difficulty that consumers have to understand the environmental benefits of the product. No? Usually, the consumers are giving rise to numerous of accusations of greenwashing, no? That I was talking about on the last slide. So that means that there are products that are not really as ecological or as environmental beneficial, no, as the marketing could suggest. So just to sum up all the concept, I want to share that's just one word, that is responsibility, that we think that is not a separate area. No, it's not just an area like a corporate social responsibility or maybe just marketing area or human resources area. No, responsibility is in a whole business, day by day. So if we understand this concept in all of our operations, we are going to be able to be sustainable.
Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the circular economy. First, to understand the circular economy, we need to understand the linear and traditional economy. That it means that we take what we need, the materials we need from the world, and make our products, and then just waste is the end of the life of these products. So in the circular economy, more concepts are involved. This is a complex representation, but there is some that are much more simpler. This is the most complete one. Basically, it means that instead of waste in the end of the chain, we return this product in some part of the chain. Maybe the customer can return it to make it last longer by reusing, by giving another new a new life to this product, or maybe returning to the company to reassemble, to recycle this product. And there's a change also among the concept of products and services. For example, smartphone industry. In some countries, instead of just selling the smartphones, companies know that what people need is the communication system. So they sell you the service of the communication, and you earn the cell phone together. So in 1 or 3 years, when you want to change this cell phone, you just return to the store. They give you a new one, and you keep using the service for communication instead of wasting this product. So this is a concept that is being very used to companies to more than create just a new perception for the consumers, to make it more to get benefits from this economy and so on. For example, to take things from the planet, it takes too much resources. When you try to extract metals like gold or silver, or things that are used in computers and cell phones, you spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources. And when you just recycle parts of computers and cell phones, you can take even more quantity of these products with less effort and less resources. So it's being very used around the world. Shruti?
Yeah, so as you can see in the slide that these are the most sustainable corporation in the world according to the Global 100. So I will first explain what is it and how they compute these companies. So basically Global 100 Index is a ranking of world's most sustainable corporations, and how they do that. They usually only consider those companies whose market capitalization is at least US 2 billion US dollars. And how they do that, so they do this whole thing is basically a method. They use a quantitative methodology of ranking all these companies, and they also consider 12 KPIs, that is key performing indicators. So some of them are like energy productivity, carbon productivity, how much carbon a company is producing, and how their waste management is, how their water productivity, how they are water conserving. So these are a part of, and even they also include some of the employee benefits. For example, they check what is their provident fund status of their employees, how employee friendly a company is. So on the basis of these 12 parameters, they have come up with the ranking. So you can see that the overall score of the first rank has been given to Dassault System, which is from France, and their overall score is at 86.10%, which is actually a very good if I compare with other companies which are there in this list. And so these are some of the listed companies which are there, which are actually performing well. So it actually explains that if companies really want to go for sustainability and they really want to do that, they can really do that either through CSR activities, or even some companies are doing it on the sake of doing that. Okay, but it doesn't matter if a company really want to go for this and really want to really want to sustain and really want to care for their employees as well as for the society. They not only saving a planet, but they are also attracting more employees. And even the one among 12 key parameters, the one key parameter is also employee retention. So employee retention rate is also going up for these companies. So it shows that they are also saving, they are also lowering down their cost by doing this thing. So I think these examples should also be considered by other companies which are there in our world. So this is basically a good examples which are there, and they should also consider this thing. So you can also see there are different industries which are there. So it is not even a any excuse for any company, right? Like if we are on this industry, we can't go for we can't conserve these things, or we can't go for sustainability. So uh, so this is all about corporate nights and global 100 index. Now talking about the next slide.
Yep.
So Felix, yeah.
Thank you. So just to don't lose the big picture, that it's important that big companies lead this sustainable change. No, but just to don't lose this picture is we can do it in any place. It's not only about big companies, but also small entrepreneurship could do that. For example, I have a short case about a solar power boat that connect 9 communities along 50 kilometers in the Ecuadorian Amazon. So, and this is the first boat in its type, and it could be used also in the Peruvian Amazon, in the Brazilian Amazon, and we are talking about millions or maybe millions of people that we can connect it by this sustainable business now. So the next, please. So I am talking about just the context about the bottom of the pyramid. So what is that? This implies that there are too many low-end people that are not benefit with that. This is a high volume of money in this level, and this company, I mean, the benefits are not for these people. So there are some strategies that these sustainable companies are using in order to change these characteristics. I mean, like improve the income for the low end by including them on the chain, you know, and maybe with small businesses like that. Then, for example, improve the awareness on the environmental, like Natura, which is a company that is in the list, is in the Global 100. And Denis, please, you can explain more about Embraer company.
Okay, sure. So Embraer is a Brazilian company. They produce aircraft, and it was born as a state and was privatized in '94. But one problem that they face is that the aviation industry produces 3 times more environmental impact than other industries that are on grade because of their they are flying, so they are closer to the ozone, and their smoke they produces and goes directly to it. So it's more it has more impact than other industries. But to I'm sorry, but to have some advantage on the competition that is global, they have to change some philosophies to get more and sustainable and improve their efforts. So solutions they have found, it's to apply a lot of strong environmental and social policies in Brazil, where it has a lot of requisitions and legal laws that demands you to be sustainable. And they use it in other countries where they are, like France or China, USA, where they have other competition and the laws are softer than here. And it was a great advantage to them because once people is traveling more by plane, people also want to save the world, and it's important because we need the long last of the world, as we talked before. And so they applied these policies in other less restrictive markets. Also, they qualified all their supply chain, so their suppliers must be sustainable, must take care of the philosophy of the company. So in all this chain is sustainable is involved. And also they warned all the staff about this issue. So no one who works for Embraer can say that they are not warned about how are the impacts on the world and how important it is to reduce it. And they got a lot of good results from it. They are one of the best recognized companies in the industry of aviation, and their planes are some of those that produce less smoke and less problems to the environment. So finally, we'd like to know about you. Just let me check if there's someone more. Okay, that's just you, John. um, so John, which company are you producing your business proposal?
Just for your information, I have one of the coach for S culture.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I did meeting to support your. Yeah. Just one question. Can you please back to the previous slide?
I'm sorry?
Can you please back to the previous slide?
This one?
Yep. When you mentioned about too many low-end people, can you see that? Too many low-end people. Can you explain more? What do you mean by low-end in terms of what? What do you mean by low-end people? In terms of income or in terms of their knowledge or educational level?
Oh, low-end people. In this article, they talk about the poverty, people that earns less than and
$1 or $4 a day.
yes, it's a really small amount of money. So in
Okay.
this
Low-end
criteria.
people, I can explain that it is more about poor. I mean, those who are actually have a who are actually struggling with poverty or any these kind of things. So I think that is the thing which is actually Denis want to explain that thing.
Yes, I think it's like a mix. No, it's poverty, it's people in poverty and people with low education also, because usually those concepts are mixed in a segment, I think.
I see. Okay. So actually, I have few questions. I have one question posed to you. If let's say today I'm a SME entrepreneur, okay, I'm a small business. How can I build a sustainable business which can be concerned about the environmentally friendly? Because I have a limited resources. So how can I start up my business with the eco-friendly concept, since I have a very limited resources? So in which part I can start from?
Well, so I think it first depends on the kind of industry that you're working. because one industry can be sustainable in one way that other it can't. So a small industry can maybe involve the people that lives around, so they can provide some sustainable solutions together. Like Natura made, where they extract some products from Amazon, the Amazon forest to make their products, but the communities that live there use it to deforest the forest, and they teach these people that they would get better results if they help the industry to take these products and use for cosmetics than just cutting down the trees that produce it. Another, in this same slide, we talk about bromine. So it all started with a man in a poor region where people was always asking for money and could not pay their bills, but he started to giving them a small amount of money in a way that if they haven't paid him back for the Brahmin Bank, and they wouldn't get more money, but they were so involved in it because it was a compromise that they have, that it was a completely success. Um, and this money was his own money, and he was not rich. He took a loan from the bank in a small amount and lent it to poor people to they pay him back, and it worked. So it has a lot of options, but it depends on how innovative you are and the culture you are involved and what the situation that it's happening there. Do you guys have another opinion, another comments about it?
Yeah, so I would like to answer this question. So I would like to add one point that if there is a small company, and I know there are different limited resources, and even also have to do on a limit budget, right? So I think the best way for the sustainability is to reduce waste as much as a company can. It not only reduce the cost for a company, but it will also become more environment friendly. So this is the first step. I think any company, it might be a small or a big, any company should consider by reducing waste. So that as Denis has also shown a circular economy, right? If there will be more waste, that will also lead to more I mean, how today, right now in the world, the major concern is how to reduce waste and how to dispose waste which are there in our planet. So I think for every company, it's one of the best thing is to reduce waste as much as they can. And the second thing they can do is they can be people friendly. People friendly here means not only customer, but it is also about in all the stakeholders who are there with the company, right? It can be internal or external. External are customers, whereas internals are employees. So uh, if they take care of their employees, they will definitely, if it kind it so as John said, it is a small company, so it might be 2 or 3 people, or it might be more less than 50 or 100 employees are there. But if they take care of their employees, they will also not only reduce the cost, they will increase employees retention rate, but they will also, I mean, it's these all the, as I've also mentioned in SDGs, that all these goals are actually interrelated. So if we take care of any one goal, we are definitely going to take care of other goals as well, that is not only directly but indirectly also. So that's my point of view over this.
So I want to add just something short. Could you put the green marketing slide, please? Yeah, the next. Yeah, just that. Well, I think all starts with responsibility. So that means that if you consider your company, or when you are developing your strategy, your main strategy, or as a part of your culture, the responsibility in all areas, I think you could start be sustainable. Now, if you are responsibility in operations, maybe your people, we are thinking every day that who is our suppliers, for example, of if we are responsible in marketing, we are making a great and ethic campaign, for example. No, I think for small companies, this is a good start to be responsible in each area of a company. So that brings you the path to get all the things that my partners are talking about. No? Just that. Thanks.
Yeah. Um, what I can say is long way to go at this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see some of the company they are they are only focusing on the CSR instead of SD, which is the sustainable development. And
Yeah.
they are confusing about CSR and also SD. They thought about when you're doing the CSR, you are contributed to the SD. I think there's a gap there. There's a gap there.
Yeah, so I would
So
like to, I would like to add one more thing that that's as I have seen in India, in Indian companies, that most Indian companies are doing CSR activities on the way. I mean, these are basically in India, there are different companies. We have regulation regarding CSR. So each company has to contribute to a certain amount of CSR towards the CSR activities. So they are doing this thing because that is restriction or a policy that is created by government. And I think most of the companies are doing they are doing this because of that restrictions there. But I think it's a long way to go, as John said that. But I think companies should also feel responsible because they are using resources which are available. They are also exploiting planet. They are I mean, they are also, some companies are also there who are exploiting people as well, as we know. So it's more about how responsible you are for your planet, how responsible you are for everything that has been given to you, on, I mean, in wherever you are. So uh, so responsibility, as Felix has rightly said, that is a major point, and is one of the point that every company should consider it. And I think CSR will no longer will become only a restriction. It will be more towards response, or a responsibility of a company towards the planet. So that's my point regarding CSR.
yeah, it's a thank you so much. It's a
Okay, thank you.
very good presentation. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
John. So do you have any other question regarding our presentation, or any feedback which you want to give to us? If you
So far you all are doing a very good job, but just one of my feeling. I felt that like it's not the way you all present is like maybe you all can show more picture and some video about how's the company to run a business, so that can be a very eco-friendly. If you have a very good example, maybe you can show a good example and a bad example so that they can do a comparison. They have a broad and a very clear picture about what is sustainable development. Yeah, this is my feeling. Because I quite, you are talking about a very big picture. You give me a very big picture. Okay, sustainability. Yeah, it's a very big picture. It's a very big topic. But if I to narrow down, if I'm in the industry, if I'm a businessman, an entrepreneur, I can't see where is my position now. I mean the positioning. What can I do? What can I do about in terms of marketing, operations, human resource maybe? I don't know where can I start from. Maybe you all can talk about this, like get some case study maybe. But it's a very good starting there because ST is like, even it's a very good topic, but I can say that it's a very sensitive topic when businessmen talking about ST, because the businessman concern is like minimize the cost and maximize their profit. This is their ultimate goal. So it's quite difficult to change their mind. So what we are doing now is changing their mind. When we are doing changing their mind, it's like it's a revolution. It's a long way to go.
Yeah.
So I think.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
John,
much
for your feedback.
I think you guys did a fantastic job. I don't know if this is some of you guys' first webinar, but so far I've been impressed with people's first webinars. And so you guys did a phenomenal job. Great, great idea having like a PowerPoint presentation to help you guys. And great that you were interactive with your audience, John. And so, yes. So you guys did a great job overall. I'm just excited how well you guys did. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You all will support me as well.
Yeah.
You all will support.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Kim, for your time.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you for interacting with John. All right. Well, we have another webinar coming up, and also don't forget we have a coaches webinar same time tomorrow. So feel free to come to that one too. But yeah, you guys did phenomenal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Have a good day, everybody.
You too.
Have a great day. Bye.